Hey, as promised in our last video looking at the history of Sampdoria, we're now looking at the history of Genoa. Now, their full name is Genoa Cricket and Football Club. They are founded in 1893. Of course, they ground share the Stadio Luigi Ferraris, which has a capacity of 36,599. They have some fun nicknames. The Old Fool is one of them. The Griffin is another, and of course they're pretty bog standard red and blues because of their colours. The Griffin is obviously because of their crest. The Old Fool, I'm still trying to work that one out, but it's a fun nickname. Now, the reason why they're called Genoa Cricket and Football Club, this is interesting. Back in 1893, it was founded as a British sports club overseas. And their primary sports were cricket and athletics. The secondary sport was football. This changes. However, initially on foundation, it's British expats only. No Italians are permitted to be members of the club until 1897, and there's a particular moment in 1897 and a particular man in 1897 which changes the fortunes of this club forevermore. His name is James Richard Spenceley. In 1897, he pushes for Italians to be members of the club and football to be the primary sport. They organise a friendly match against a combined team from Turin of two teams, Internazionale Torino and FBC Torinese, form a mixed team. The Torino team beats Genoa Cricket and Football Club 1-0, but their first away win comes against UPS Alessandria, where they win 2-0 away. They play some friendlies against British servicemen who are serving aboard several warships in the area who are on shore leave, and then the Italian League gets formed. Now, they are the fifth oldest club by establishment date in Italy, and in their first season they win the Italian title. Now, initially it's known as the Northern League, then it's known as the Italian Football Championship, and now obviously we know it as Serie A. That is the top level of Italian football. They've won it 9 times, just after the First World War. They win in 1898, 1899, 1900, 1902, 1903, 1904, very dominant spell for Genoa. Then, in the 1914-15 season, they win again. This is the season before Italy joins the First World War. Italy would then join the First World War at the end of that season. They win it twice more post-World War I in 1922-23 and 1923-24. Then there's no success for a decade or so, and they win their solitary Coppa Italia title not long before the Second World War starts in 1936-37. That is their last major trophy, is 1937. So their successful period is from the late 1890s to the late 30s. They've not won a trophy since. Yet by league titles, they're more successful than Sampdoria, who just have the one. And in the early days of Italian football, alongside Pro Vercelli, they are one of the two most dominant teams in Italian football. Juventus, AC Milan, Internazionale, they're not winning stuff at this time. It's Genoa and Pro Vercelli who are the dominant forces in Italian football in the early days. As time goes on, Juventus, AC Milan, Internazionale, they start to become the dominant forces. But early on, without this club, Italian football, the story would be different. Now, obviously, their rivalries, famously Sampdoria, AC Milan, there's a very heated rivalry there, and Torino. In more recent years, they don't like each other, and that's due to Torino being relegated and Genoa relegating them when they're fighting for a Champions League spot against Fiorentina. About 2008, 2009, Torino, less successful in more modern times. Torino are hoping for a draw, they get hammered, they go down, and of course the rivalry ensues from there. AC Milan, they haven't liked each other since the 60s due to a violent incident at a match where a fan was stabbed to death by an AC Milan hooligan. And of course Sampdoria, it's their biggest rival. Now, Genoa are currently in Serie A, Sampdoria are currently in Serie B, but AC Milan and Torino are also currently Serie A sides, so there are some rivalries that are going to continue going forward. But there we go, one of the oldest clubs in Italy. Very interesting club. A lot of Italian clubs, a lot of the older clubs, are set up by British industrialists and British expats, much like Genoa. Most of their fans come from not only Genoa, but also the Liguria region of Italy. They have the bigger fan base over Sampdoria in the city and in the surrounding region. And of course, they are one of the most historical clubs in Italian football. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you very very soon.